Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast. Guys, there's been a situation going on for quite a few years now with Twisted Wrestling Alliance. Now, I know a lot of you younger fans may think that this feud that we're going to be talking about has only been happening for a couple of years, but the fact of the matter is that this feud actually began 13 plus years ago when Robbie Idol actually came out of retirement to face Robbie Cook, all because of his frustration and because he felt betrayed by Robbie's father, believe it or not, Bob Cook. Now, what's ironic about this match is Robbie Idol actually came out of retirement to have this match with Robert Cook 13 years ago. And here we are 13 years later with the same feud, except now Robbie Idol's putting up his career if he loses the match. But so is Robbie Cook. And it's not just Robbie's career that he's putting up. He is the current TWA champion. He is actually putting his title up as well. Now, Bob Cook, the Cooker, he's here with us as well because after all of this madness goes back to the relationship of Robbie Idol and Bob Cook. Enough talk. Let's get into this interview. WCW veteran, TWA veteran, and author of Looking Up at the Lights. Here's Robbie Idol. WWE veteran, WCW veteran, Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bob Cook, and the TWA champion, a veteran himself, none other than Robbie Cook. Gentlemen, thank you for agreeing to participate in this. It's a little weird for me because Robbie and Bob's co-host of my podcast, and I'll be honest, I think the word of both of them, but Robert and I have become friends as well. So it's a little weird, all of this happening. Let me start right off. Robbie Idol and Robbie Cook, this question is for both of you guys. 13 years. This is how long this has been brewing. Before we get into the anger and the betrayal, I want each of you to answer this. What does May 9th, 2026 truly represent to you? Robbie, I'm Robert Cook. I'm going to let you go first since you're the champion.
May 9th means that, Idol's career could be ending, and I don't know why he thinks that he needs to put that on the line, and I don't know how my career ended up on the line of this. I think he's somehow pulling, strings backstage or whatever. That's not only am I putting my belt on the line, I'm getting my career on the line too. So it means everything to me. I got more to lose than he does. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, Robbie, same question, man. And not only is the same question for you, but respond to what Cook's answer was about his career is up on the line all of a sudden.
That one just came about. I didn't pull any strings on that one. I wanted him to put the belt on the line. So I figured him and I have had battles. I've gotten screwed out of that belt in August last year. So I figured he wasn't going to put it on. So I had to make it worthwhile. And I guess maybe TWA president said, career for career and belt. So I had no string. I pulled no strings on that one.
What does this mean? What does May 9th, 2026 represent for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Means either I'm walking out of there a champion or I'm done. So it's one or the other. And I'm going all out to make sure that I'm walking out champion.
Robbie Cook, you're walking in as the TWA champion, but your career's on the line. You could have very easily said, man, I'm not putting my career up. I'm not going to answer to this stipulation. This isn't my thing. Robbie is the one, Idol's the one that has this betrayal and this issue with my dad, plus the issues that you guys have from the past couple of years as well. Why was it worth for you to risk it all by saying, yes, let's do it?
I look at it, I want to prove to the wrestling world that I'm a fighting champion. I'm not backing down, from a challenge, regardless of what it is, and I look at it as, it's more motivation, it just means that I got to work even harder, but it's one of those things too, to where going into the champion, more eyes are on me. I got more pressure to walk out the same way I'm walking in, and that's champion, that's how I look at it, man. Like I'm afraid of no one, man. Afraid of no match style. It's the bunkhouse brawl. Anything goes. No rules. My team against his team.
Bob, over a decade, Robbie has said that he feels that you've forgotten about him. You guys got into the business together. Apparently, the only way he feels like he could truly get back at you, because after all, this is about you. Ultimately, the bottom line, Bob, is this: Robbie said this is about you, and the only way he can really get back at you is not through physically hurting you, but hurting you by ending your son's career. How do you respond to that?
The whole thing upsets me, and I'm going to go way back. This goes back further than 13 years. This goes back 40 years. I've known Robbie for 40 years. He's one of those guys, obviously, by his actions now and in the past. He doesn't appreciate opportunities. He doesn't take advantage of them. And when things don't work out the way he thinks they should, he blames everybody else. Let me tell you something, Robbie Idol. January 15th, 1988, we were at the Eddie Graham Sports Complex. Mike Graham came up to me and he said, Bob, the box office got a call. Your wife's in labor. We immediately left the arena. Robbie was there when he was born, goddammit. You understand what I'm saying? He was there when he was born, and he's trying to blame his shortcomings on me and take it out on my son, and that is pure bullshit. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how you look at it. It's pure freaking bullshit, okay? All the people who say, when he sits there and says, well, I forgot about it. Let me tell you something, Robbie. Anytime I got an accolade in this business was because I guess the people who gave it to me felt I earned it. I never asked for it. I never begged for it, but I appreciated it. You understand what I'm saying? When you got honored at the Legends Lunch, who did that? I did that for you because I was on the board of directors that made that decision. And obviously that wasn't enough for you because Joe Cool honored me in Venice at a Hall of Fame thing. It was my fault that you weren't honored. I was asked, I accepted. Wouldn't you do the same? Yes. I didn't beg for it. I didn't ask for it. I accepted it like I should because I appreciate it. Hey, when I got that Legends of the Bayfront thing, I didn't ask for it. They didn't call me and say, hey, let's get Robbie Idol in here too. No, they said, Bob, we want to honor you. We want to honor Jerry Gray. We want to honor Kevin Sullivan. We want to honor Ron Bass and Bugsy McGraw and Mike Graham. And I said, yes. That's all it was. And when I got this Hall of Fame thing last year in Jacksonville, I didn't ask for it. I didn't beg for it like Barry Horowitz. I accepted it and I appreciated it. If people thought of you as much as they think of me, regardless of the reason they might think it, maybe you'd get these awards too. But obviously you didn't make the impact you think you did to where they feel about you the way they feel about me. And God damn it, that's not my fault. It's not my kid's fault. It's all your fault. Look in the mirror next time you want to accuse somebody of something in your life that doesn't go your way, just like I always did. When Dusty Rhodes gave me chances in WCW and I blew every one of them, I took the blame because I was the one that fucked them up. Remember that. You understand?
Well,
so on May 9th, whether you win or lose, you and I we're going to end this on May 9th between us. It has nothing to do with my son. He's going to win, obviously. Because you're old, you can barely walk. I'm saying, between you and I, that's coming to an end on May 9th too. Because it's bullshit. You've been blaming me all these years for your shortcomings. If you get a divorce, you're going to blame me for that too?
I might.
Pisses me off.
Well, good. I'm glad you're pissed off. Let me tell you, you know what? I'm glad he went that route to the chances he had with Dusty and that he pissed him away. I figured he would have sidestepped those. So I give him credit on that one. Robbie, for you accepting the challenge with the belt and your career, you got bigger balls than your dad ever had. So I will give you that. And as far as you, like with you, Bob, here's the thing. I came back after being hurt. I reinvented myself. You're a one-trick pony. Could you have reinvented yourself? No. Could you have done the stuff that I came back and did? Could you have went in and did tables, ladders, and chairs matches and stuff like that? But again, you would have said, no, that's irresponsible. That's not worth it, taking the risk and stuff like that. I came back after beating a disease, and I put my ass on the line, and I came back, reinvented myself, and I went in and did the tables, ladders, and chairs matches, became a champion in the RWA on the indies, and was back at top of the indie scene when I came back in 98. I reinvented myself. Yeah, in a way, I feel I got overlooked. And as far as like you being honored for the Hall of Fame, yes, you're a one-trick damn pony. And the guy that really got overlooked out of all of us is Rick Ryder. He should have been in the Hall of Fame before you were, because you weren't even as good as Rick was. You threw a punch, and that's all you're known for. You're not even as good as your damn kid is, because your kid is talented, and he at least he knows how to high fly. He can fight. He can brawl. He can do all kinds of stuff. You're a one-trick pony, Bob. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm dead serious on this. May 9th, if you think you're going to interject your damn self, I'm going to do what the heart attack didn't do, and I'm going to put your damn ass in the ground. And I'll guarantee you I'll do that on May 9th if you interject yourself.
But Robbie, and I ask this with all due respect. You said that you felt that Bob forgot about you. You felt
he forgot about me. He forgot about Rick.
But this is the thing. But you say that, but in the same sentence, you said that you love Robbie. He is family. I understand wanting a title shot, but to try to end the man's career, you're taking food off of the table of his kids. I mean, is that something you're okay with?
Hey, it's a business. Life's a bit. I'm putting my career on the line. I may be at the end of my career, but I'm putting it on the line. So, I mean, hey, you all's fair in love and war. And this is love and war, and you go for the heart. Sorry to say that, Robbie, but you know what? It is what it is.
Robbie Cook, you say this feud exists because of your father. I think we all do. He says that Bob Cook forgot about him after they broke into the business together. Do you feel responsible for a decision that your father may have made, may have not made? I mean, ultimately, do you feel like this should be falling on you?
I don't feel like it should be falling on me at all, but I also don't feel like it should be falling on my dad either. It's one of those things to where everybody in this wrestling business is handed opportunities, and everybody is looked at differently. You know, everybody has a different perception of whoever someone is. You know, and you know, like my dad said, he's not the one going around asking for accolades. He's not the one going around asking for Hall of Fame inductees. He's not going around whatever. You know, and it's one of those things to where, you know, something that, you know, is the Hall of Fame and different stuff like that. You take a phone call. You don't go, hey, you know, this person needs to go in too. You know, it's, you know, I don't know. That's how I look at it, you know, and they've been at, you know, bitter ends with each other for years over numerous things, you know, and obviously, you know, Idol looks like he's going to take it out on me, but, you know, it's one of those things to where I look at him as family, but I'm going to do what I got to do to survive, you know, and if I got to hurt him, I will. I don't want to, you know, and it's one of those things to where he came back, you know, like a year ago when I won the belt, and I wasn't even going to get him a title match. I was going to give him an opportunity to get in the ring one last time and, you know, have his family, friends, and everybody come and check him out and give him one last chance at the spotlight and go out the right way and say goodbye. That wasn't good enough for him. He wanted the title shot, you know? And then he wants to go ahead and have, you know, friends and tag partners on me. He's like a cult leader, man. He gets these people to listen to him and follow him and turn their back on me. You know, he stole the belt. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
He stole the belt, which is bullshit. He pretty much cut my beard off to embarrass me in front of my friends and family. He every single match that I've been in, him and his crooked referee Pete and my ex tag partner Richie Paradise want to beat me down with weapons. You know, after a match, I'm easily outnumbered. You know, it's bullshit, man. You know, it's him looking at his one last shot of making a name off somebody else. You know, that's how I look at it.
Another question for you, Robbie Cook. Are you training for this match as a match that you're defending your championship? Or are you training for it as, nah, this is about defending my family's name? And how's it been different?
Originally I was training for just to go in like I do every other match, you know, and treat it as a championship match. But now it's more so along the lines of, you know, fighting for my family's name, fighting for my championship, and now fighting for my damn career, whoever made that choice. So I have the most to lose in this, you know, and I don't take that lightly. You know, I'm going in this match the lightest, you know, that I've been in probably 15 years, you know. So dieting and trying to feel good and feeling healthy, you know, I'll be almost 19 years in this business come May 5th. So, and I'm no stranger to, you know, hardcore matches and taking unnecessary risks for the sake of taking unnecessary risks, you know, and that's what this match is going to be. You know, it's a bunkhouse brawl. There's going to be you know, you got the stakes stacking against me. If I got to take some unnecessary risks to get that win, I will. I have no problem with it, you know, and I know he's going to be, you know, doing the same, you know. So, and what it comes down to is it's not even just a factor of me and him, you know. He's got my ex tag team partner on his team. He's got his student that he's been training, Brian, you know. So who knows what he's been teaching them, what kind of dirty tricks he's been working with them, you know. But I can fight dirty too, man. You know, I'm not afraid to get violent. I'm not afraid to get crazy. I'm not afraid to do what I got to do. You know, I know he's the same. So
TWA says yes, he did. I'm assuming they're talking about all the things that you said Robbie has done to you, Cook. Also, Adams has said, I'm by you, Robbie. I'm assuming they're talking about Robbie Cook because he says, what's up, Cooker? Robbie Idol. This is for you, my man. You say that Bob forgot about you. Is this what really this is all about? Or is this maybe a little bit about jealousy that you feel like Bob Cook picked his son over you?
No, I would expect him to. I mean, we're going to address a few things here,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
So me being jealous of Bob, not a chance, because as far as, like I said, my thing with Bob's a one-trick pony. I came in when I got doubted by people saying that I couldn't make it in the wrestling business when I started, and so I proved them all wrong. I've been an athlete where Bob wasn't an athlete. I mean, yes, he's an athlete because he was a pro wrestler. As far as everything else, as far as the work ethic and everything else, Bob couldn't carry my jock strap to the arena. So as far as his work ethic, my work ethic, there's no comparison. He wants to say he's like this true friend. I did this for you. I did that for you and everything. He wants to know why Rick doesn't talk to him. I'll tell you why Rick doesn't talk to you. Go back to when Rick had his 5th neck operation, and it was a 12-hour operation, and Rick's life was on the line. Bob made a 10-minute appearance and left. I stayed for all 12 hours. And Rick was like, you didn't have to do that. And I said, yes, I did. And I stayed with his wife. I stayed with his kid. And I said I was there for moral support if anything went wrong. And this way, if something did go wrong, I could at least went after the doctor too. Not that it would have done any good, but I just wanted to show my support and everything for Rick, where Bob made a 10-minute appearance and left. So that's how he thinks of his friends. But everybody's like, Bob's this good guy my ass. So, you know, it is what it is. I just don't, as far as Bob wasn't the athlete that I was. And I bet my house on it. You know, everybody says he's punched. So he was the one-trick pony. You know, and come May 9th, like Robbie said, you know, it's on the line. He's got his 3. Hope his 3 can hang with my 3. You know?
Bob Cook, do you want to respond to that?
You know, let's be completely honest. Robbie Idol wouldn't even be in the wrestling business if it wasn't for Bob Cook, and I'll tell you why. Because I was at Rick Ryder's dipshit brother-in-law's house one day who happened to be a professional wrestler. Sorry, excuse for one, but a wrestler. And Rick was there. And Rick had his head in a halo at the time because he had broken neck at that point. And he asked me while he's sitting in the chair, barely able to speak, how could I be a wrestler? And when he healed up, I helped him become a wrestler. So technically, if I wouldn't have been there, Rick wouldn't have been there, Robbie wouldn't be here. So you can thank me for that too. But let me tell you something else. When it comes to all this Hall of Fame stuff, unlike you who feels left out, I don't take it seriously. I appreciate it, but I don't take it seriously. I don't sit there and go, look, I got a Hall of Fame ring. Look, I got a nice plaque. I appreciate it, but I don't take it seriously. It's just wrestling gibberish, much like what you're spewing right here. But to take out our problems on my son is as unfair as anything you've ever done, because you have resentment towards me for no reason. And you're sitting there saying I'm a one-trick pony. Who had to have hip replacements all these years after all those stupid ladder matches and crap you did? And there's something else out there. I was proud of you when you came back and did all that stuff. I didn't resent you. I was like, hey, this guy's come back from that illness and he's doing this and he's doing that. But you had to have hip replacements because of that and other injuries you had from that. I didn't. So I'd rather be a one-trip pony without a huge hip replacement scar on my side just because I did a ladder match somewhere with some dipshit.
Bob, there's obviously a lot of bad blood here. And how much of this do you think is just a misunderstanding on Robbie Idol's part? Like, do you think there's a way of you two sitting down and talking this out without Robbie Cook having to put his career on the line? Do you think that's possible, or do you think it's too far gone that there's no way of reaching Robbie Idol?
Well, you know, as somebody who never holds grudges, I could say anything's possible, but knowing Robbie, it's not possible because his ego controls his actions, obviously by the things he says and the things he does and the things he thinks he's going to do on May 9th. Ego has made a lot of people famous, but it's also killed more careers than anything else. And on May 9th, your career is coming to an end. A career, by the way, again, let me remind you, because of me, wouldn't have existed if I hadn't met Rick at his dipshit brother-in-law's house 40 years ago.
Robbie, I want you to think about that question that I asked. And before you answer that, Robbie Cook, if your dad and Robbie Idol was able to come to an understanding, is this something that you would prefer to put to the side and not have to fight this battle in the ring with your career being at risk? Or is it too late for you now? Robbie Idol has done so many things that no, this needs to happen.
No, it's too far gone. This needs to happen, you know, and it's one of those things where I hold out hope that maybe they can reconcile and they can fix things. But at this point, the only thing that's getting fixed is Idol is retiring for sure. You know, I don't take all those things that he's done to me lightly, you know, and not to mention, you know, Joe, you know, stealing the belt, you know, deeply affected him, you know. Chief Eddie Two Rivers, my tag partner, Robbie tried to break his knee with a baseball bat. So it's one of those things to where he's got to pay for his sins, so to speak. You know, he wants to say, I'm paying for the sins of my father. Well, he's paying for the sins of everything he's done to me and the rest of the stuff that he's done to the people in the TWA locker room. You know, that's how I look at it, you know, and there's no going back on this. You know, it's full steam ahead, you know. So if you're watching this, I suggest you go get your ringside tickets because maybe you'll bring home a Robbie Idol.
TWA says, we have provided the environment to take this match and rivalry to its conclusion. And we're honored to do so thanks to the Twisted Fork. Robbie, answer that question. Is there any sitting down with Bob Cook and figuring this out, man, without taking it out on...
No, I agree with Robbie. We've taken this thing. There is no turning back. Between everything that has gone on from August to now, between all of us, we've all taken it to the next level. There's no sitting down, talking it out, saying, you know, let's straighten it out. No, the way it's going to be straightened out is the way it's going to be handled in the ring.
Jonah Adams says that Cook made his own career, was truly respected by a lot of Hall of Famers, and did more than one trick pony with the Undertaker match before he was the Undertaker. True.
But you know what? Words hurt. And with the things that Robbie's been saying all these years, and especially right now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to people and say that I don't hurt. Because we had a lot of good times on the road. A lot of good times. Times that weren't put in his book for reasons. We had a lot of great times on the road. Some of my most cherished memories were with Robbie Idol, Rick Ryder. But the stuff he said today, so it hurts. But words come with consequences. And on May 9th, Robbie's going to realize that he's been wrong all these years. And the biggest mistake he ever made was coming out of retirement.
Robbie Idol, I know that you said that you don't know where the stipulation came from, that it wasn't you. And with all due respect, I have a hard time believing that the TWA would be willing to put their top talent's career on the line like this. Are you saying this because you feel like maybe your anger got to you and you went maybe too far with requesting the stipulation, and now you feel like you're back in the corner?
You guys can believe me or not, it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. I was good with going career for belt. So wherever that stipulation came from, and of course, TWA president's going to say, I didn't do it, but I didn't bring that one up. That one didn't even cross my mind. I just wanted to take the championship off of Robbie, end it, hold TWA hostage because I'm their new champion, which Joe doesn't want. So whoever came up with that stipulation, I don't know, but it wasn't me. And that's, you know, I may be bitter towards Bob, and me and Robbie have our differences, but I wouldn't do that to Robbie. I wouldn't say his career was over, but now that it's out there, I'll do everything to end it, at least in the TWA. You may have to go find another indie circuit or some other circuit to go work for. But if I can end his career in TWA, I'll do it, just like he's going to do if he gets a chance to do it to me. So, I mean, both of us are going to come out here full barrel. We're both going, you know, balls to the wall, you know. So at least when I get into the ring, I will say this. And yes, and words hurt, and take this one to heart here, Bob. I am wrestling the better Cook. So Robbie is way better than what you were. So I know May 9th, I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm coming with everything I got, kid.
Robbie, do you buy what Robbie Idol saying that he had nothing to do with the stipulation?
As much as I want to believe him here, I could see his ego getting the better of him, you know, and demanding this somehow, you know. as the top guy for TWA and their undefeated heavyweight champion and one of their top draws, I don't see why that they would want to risk that of getting rid of me. You know, I personally feel like putting my belt on the line was good enough. You know, maybe you know TWA is looking at it as this is something they can help draw tickets. You know, and I get that from a business standpoint, but it's also one of those things where maybe, you know, if that's the case, you know, if that's Joe's ruling or whoever else is the powers that be along with him, they should, you know, ask me first, you know. Like I said, I'm not one to back down to a challenge, you know, but it is what it is, man. Like I said, May 9th, you know, balls to the wall. I'm ready to go crazy. You know, it's one of those things to where career, you know, you got to bring it, man. You got to bring it. I know he's going to bring it. You know, I hope his team is ready to go. I know my team is ready to go. So,
and I'm going to elaborate on this. Yeah, I may have a big ego, but I did not ask for that stipulation. So that one did not come from me. I do have a big ego, but I didn't, you know, like I said, but since it got thrown out there, hey, it is what it is.
Robbie, I know you say your team is ready, but again, if you lose everything, man. You lose your championship, your career's done with. Have you had to mentally prepare yourself for the possibility that May 9th could be your last night in professional wrestling?
As time gets closer, it's my mind is more so trying to wrap around and accept that, you know, the idea of me not wrestling again is I don't know. I can't picture myself not wrestling. You know, I kind of picture myself wrestling until maybe I was, you know, 75. You know, I mean, in some way, shape, or form. You know, like I don't know. I've never really thought about having to hang it up. You know, it's one of those things to where I'm still processing the whole thing, and I think as time gets closer, it's gonna, you know, weave its dangerous web in my mind, you know, and that could either be a good thing or bad thing. You know, I think of it right now as just it's going to help fuel my fire and desire to win, you know. So,
Robbie, I want you to be Robbie Idol. Look, man, we've been friends. I've called you my brother, so I'm asking for your complete honesty with this question. Is this truly about proving that you were never second best? Or is there a part of you that is, I don't know, maybe takes a little joy in the fact that you might actually hurt Robbie Cook?
To be totally honest, it's a little of both. And it's not, you know, unfortunately, the person that we're going out to hurt is Bob. Unfortunately, he's caught in the middle of it. So he's taking the brunt of it, where hopefully it gets back and it pains Bob also. So it's both. If that makes sense to you, it's both. It's joy to say, okay, look, at this stage of my career, I still have it. And it's also to kind of put a crack in the Cook name, that Idol is just as good.
My question is this, though, and you mentioned this earlier. A few months ago, Bob Cook had a heart attack. And it was a scary thing for all of us that love Bob. I love Bob. It was a scary thing. Now, obviously, stress isn't good for a man who's had a heart attack, Robbie Idol. Have you thought about the stress of knowing that he's being blamed for something that he doesn't necessarily think he's done, but it's his son that is ultimately might pay the price? And if his career's over with, the amount of stress that could be put on Bob Cook, blaming himself that could do some very serious harm. Does that bother you at all?
No, not at all. I've known Bob for 40 something years, and everybody says what a great guy Bob is, but they haven't spent 40 years with him. I know the true Bob Cook, and the true Bob Cook is a prick.
Bob, your response to that, man.
Wow. Oh, man. You know, the thing that bothers me the most at this point is that I was supposed to be in this match until I had the heart attack. But I'm going to tell you this, Idol. Come hell or high water, whether they're going to have to chain me to the back to keep me from going to the ring with Joe Saraceno, my son, and Chief Eddie Tuber. They're going to have to chain me to the back because I'm going to be at ringside. And this is going to be the last time you and I are together near a ring ever. If that matters to anybody, it doesn't matter to me if it matters to them because it matters to me. And it matters to my son. But to keep blaming me for all your problems is as pathetic as it can get. I mean, seriously, how pathetic can a person be? It really pisses me off when I go back and I can look at pictures of you with my son when he was 5, 6, 7 years old. And you're doing this to hurt me. Like he did something. He thought you were his goddamn uncle. That's what he thought for the first few years of his life until I clued him in. And he still considers you his uncle. Hell, you were there for him sometimes when I wasn't. And now you're doing this. You should be ashamed of yourself. Really, you should. You should be ashamed of yourself. Your wife should be ashamed of you. Your whole family should be ashamed. And I think if they go to the show and they see your actions, they're going to be ashamed of you. But I'm going to be proud of my son because I always have been. But I'm going to stand by him on this situation. We're going to end this feud once and for all.
Bob,
Enough of the bullshit.
I don't obviously mean to be negative whatsoever, but the question has to be asked. Robbie Idol beats your son. How much of this will you carry on yourself? And how are you dealing with the stress? Trying to keep yourself healthy after suffering this heart attack with, this has to be stressful for you.
I'm not going to lie. It is. It's, I have good days and bad days. A lot of it's because of the heart attack, but it is. The stress doesn't help. Obviously, Robbie doesn't care, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. Something that's been said several times during this interview. I'm willing to die to be at ringside with my son on May 9th at the Twisted Fork. Willing to die. That's how much I care about my son.
Robbie Cook, I have to ask you, man. Your dad just literally said he's willing to die for you. Robbie Idol basically said he doesn't give a rat's ass if this kills your dad. How much of that fuels what you want to do to Robbie in the ring? And how do you feel listening to that?
I think it's bullshit that, Idol says that he doesn't care. I think that deep down inside, he really does. And as far as my dad goes, I appreciate him, being down at ringside. It means the world to me, but it's also one of those scary things too, to where if something were to happen to him at ringside, because of this, I'm there too, so that part of the blame would be onto me, so it's just, I don't know, man, it's a stressful situation for me, and May 9th is leading up to where anything goes, man. So I don't know if I want to drag this match out and torture Mr. Idol with all the weapons at ringside, or if I end it quickly, that's how I look at it, man. Like, I hope my dad can keep his composure at ringside. I know he likes to get a little crazy and hectic, I'll be doing my best to keep situations hopefully as cool and calm as they can be, as far as shit goes. But I'm only one man,
John Allen says the Cooker team is full effect. Gentlemen, this is the last question for both of you. When this is all over, May 9th, who walks out still standing? And what happens to the man the man who does not? Robbie, I'll let you go first.
Okay, well, this one's for Bob. You saying you're going to be there, Robbie? Sorry, you got to hear, but Bob, you get involved in this thing. Like I said, I'm gonna finish what that heart attack didn't do. You get close, I will give you the ass whipping of your life. So whatever I have in my hands, whatever, you're getting hit with it. You get involved in it, I'll try to put your ass in the ground. I lose, I'll take it like a man and say my career is over. I win, I guess I got a bigger ego than I already have. So that's how I'm looking at it. It's like I said, I'm coming for it. I'm going full bore. Better man wins. You know, that's how I look at it. Whoever wins was the better man that night. I lose, I guess I'll have to retire and my career is over and go out with my head held high with everything I've done.
Robbie Cook, same question. This is a little bit more, it has to be a little bit more personal for you, though, because you're much younger. No offense, Robbie Idol. Robbie Idol's kids grown. You still have young kids. This is how you support them. This is how you put food on the table, man. This is literally a must-win situation for you. So again, who walks out still standing on May 9th? And what happens to the man who does it?
Well, the man who doesn't's done, you know. Like I said, I've been working on some game plans and stuff like that. I like to think I'm going to be the one going out, but I also expect Idol to have some tricks up his sleeve, you know. But if he beats me, I'll shake his hand. You know, he'll be the if he beats me, I'll admit he's the better man that night. You know, how I look at it, man. You know, and yes, this is how helps me take care of my my family, but it's I'm a man. This is how the stipulations fall to my lap. I'm not going to back down from it. You know, so I'm a man of my word. If I lose, I'll shake his hand. I'll say he's the better man, and I'll leave TWA forever.
TWA, this is going to be the last ride, as it were, on so many levels. And the stipulations, stay tuned. TWA also remains a fair and unbiased promotion, but you're actually not hearing the whole truth. Robbie Cook, what does that mean, man?
Your guess is as good as mine, man. So I want to know what the truth is, because if Idol's saying he's not the one who's putting the stipulation on me putting my career up, I want to know who is. I want answers. You know, I as the champion, someone who's putting butts in seats. You know, I'm not saying I'm the only guy in the company putting butts in seats, but you know, I want answers. That's it.
So and I'm going to say this. They're just trying to cover their ass. That's why they're saying that. So they're trying. Hey, like I said, I've admitted I've got an ego. They're just trying to make me out more of a bad guy than I already am. But hey, like I said, I did not put that stipulation in. Never crossed my mind. So, and to go back to if I got to lose, there'd be one other person that if I was going to have to hang my career up would have been Rick. And if I guess I got to do it, it's like I said, Robbie's the better of the two cooks. If I got to lose, like I said, I'll hold my head up high. I'll do the same like he said. I'll shake his hand and say, you were the better man that night. So all I got to say to you, kid, is May 9th, bring it, because I'm going to bring it, and we're going balls to the wall. And this is the one to end it all.
Bob, as Robbie Cook's dad, is there anything you want to say directly to Robbie on camera? Something maybe you've never said in years to him?
To my son?
Yeah.
I'd be the first to admit that I wasn't the greatest father of all time. But I've apologized to him for that, and he's accepted. But I will say this. You keep talking about Rick Ryder. If Rick Ryder is such a great guy, why don't he be there on your side? show his face one last time. But the one thing that hit home more than anything, and I hope I can get through this. April 10th, 1990, my father died in my arms in our backyard. And if a son of a bitch like you is basically threatening the same thing to my son for May 9th, that's as low as you can go, pal. You may not like me, but to say you're going to finish what the heart attack didn't do, man, that's as low as you can get. You are a goddamn son of a bitch, Robbie Idol. And I'm not kidding. I'm fucking shooting. My father died in my arms with blood shooting out of his mouth because he hemorrhaged from lung cancer. And you're threatening the same thing with my son in front of a crowd full of people. That's bullshit, Robbie. You've stepped over the line. You've stepped over the line, pal.
Guys, this is a bunkhouse brawl elimination. Again, Robbie Idol, Robbie Cook, the men's TWA championship held by Robbie Cook is on the line. Whoever loses, their career is done with. Saturday, May 9th, 2:30 p.m., the Twisted Fork. Get your tickets now. This is going to be standing room only. Again, I know a lot of you younger fans know the few things have been happening between these two for 2 years. Oh, it goes much, much further than this. Gentlemen, thank you, all three of you, for being on this podcast, for airing your dirty laundry out in many ways on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Robbie Idol, Robbie Cook, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.